Well, we're brought to you by Goodyear. College football's heating up, and Goodyear knows the passion it takes to drive every game forward. Whether your team's home or away, the traditions that bring us together are still the same. That's the road that moves us Goodyear more driven. And now I can finally say we are joined by the man himself, Michael Wilbon, part of the New Look NBA Countdown show that launches tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern prior to Knicks Celtics, giving the Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Good morning, Mike.
Max. Good to see all of you guys.
Great to see you as always.
Good to see you guys.
What's up, brother?
Yes.
Last night was a fun weeknight sports night, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, for you. Your Dodgers came out, man.
Come on, Key.
But 8 innings, well, not even 8 innings, 4 innings, about 4 innings, it wasn't fun, right?
Stress.
It was stress. Come on, man. You know how it go when you think you're supposed to win and you're not winning at that moment.
I thought even if the Dodgers lost last night, and this is insane to say, I know this. I'm old enough to know better than to say this, but the whole time they're down 5-2, I'm thinking, you know what, if the Dodgers lose this game, I don't think this series is over.
100%.
Which I've never thought before. I didn't think that Red Sox, Yankees in 2004, whatever. But that was pretty nerve-wracking, I'm sure. And it was the 2 NBA games. 1 NBA game was entertaining. There was an entertaining element to the Lakers, Golden State. And, you start to wonder even early on. The one thing I'm looking forward to more than anything else about this NBA season is there have never been this many good teams in the league at one time. Will you disagree with me, Jay?
No, we're on the same page.
I mean, you're talking, okay, so not all the teams can win or get to the conference finals. No, but you got about 12 teams.
I was going to say about half the NBA, right?
Yes, key. Yeah. And you got 20, there are 20 teams I want to see. Like, I want to see, even though I don't know who's playing. Is Cade Cunningham playing tonight against the Bulls in Detroit? So I want to see Cade Cunningham. I want to see the Pistons right now. I know that's going to drop off as we get closer to Christmas and then beyond. But right now, to start this season, I've never felt I wanted to see this many teams. And therefore, you can't have easy wins. If you were teams like Brooklyn and the Lakers, as good as they are and the favorites they should be, you can't just roll into Washington and Chicago and think, this is what we do. We come in here and win. No. Those teams have aspirations. They have rosters. They have expectations. And they got legit players, all-stars in some of those situations. So you can't just get off to a slow start. Say if you're the Lakers and you play 11 of your first 14 at home, I know you have to build, and that's the only way great teams get there is to build. But you need to get there relatively soon. I don't believe seeding doesn't matter. I don't believe that teams can just go in and give away home court advantage. So it's going to be an interesting start to this. And the play-in also gives teams some urgency. They don't want to be in a play-in. You see how they objected to it?
Mike, I want to present something to you that Tim Legler said earlier on our show about Russell Westbrook and the Lakers. Obviously, them finding continuity and Russell buying into being that third superstar on the team, which he can't be ball dominant, backdoor cutting, moving without the ball, doing all the dirty work, which he's never had to do in his career. Can he do that? And also, Tim Legler said, does it make sense to bring him off the bench because of the energy pack that he brings to them offensively?
I mean, there's something to be said. You need to talk to Russ. This needs to be a shared decision. I think it could. Look, the NBA season is long. You can try a lot of things. You've been part of situations where a coach, a GM, or even a player, they were on the same page, and then you said, no, this is not going to work. I would try it. Russ needs to be the focal point, Key. He needs to be the focal point. He's never not been.
But that's going to be hard for that. No, you know him personally. I know him personally. That's going to be hard, man.
I agree.
13 years of doing it a certain way. And you telling me when I'm not at the end of my career, I'm still basically in the prime of my career. I just happen to move around 4 different teams.
Triple-double last year.
So you getting ready to ask me, you getting ready to try to sell me or coming off the bench because it's my unit?
Can't sell it. You can't sell it, but you can go to him. Here's what I think has to happen.
But you haven't won a championship yet.
No, I get it.
I hear you, but my whole thing is,
right.
what are you willing to do in a championship team that has the caliber of talent? If AD plays like a top 5 player this year and you have LeBron James, I love Russ, but what can Russ do to be additive to the team?
It's got to be his idea. And you guys know you've been in the locker rooms all your lives.
You got to make it his idea.
You got to make it his idea. It's got to be.
But he ain't going to never come up with that, though, Wilbon. You know that. Even though Jay said he ain't going to win a championship, the idea is, hey, I don't mind coming off the bench if it's going to help, but he ain't going to never come up with that. LeBron ain't going to never bring it to him. AD ain't never
I
gonna
agree
bring
with
it to
the
him.
second part of that.
He ain't going to never bring it to him.
You got to hope he does. I'm looking at this like, okay, so if somebody
and we
told
only talking about one game.
One game.
Right?
And we can't
think
listen,
about it.
To me, I dismiss the result. I'm looking at just process and sort of characteristics. But if somebody tells you that LeBron and AD are going to score, 67 points?
Yeah.
Play a home game, and that Steph Curry is going to go 2 for 9 from 3, is that what he was?
Yep.
And that the Lakers are going to lose, and it's sort of a comfortable, not nail-biting ending. I'm not looking at the result doesn't matter as much as where does this go? As we start to go down this road for the first 10 games.
I want to leave some time in the next segment for you, Michael, because we're not done with you yet. And I'll say again, every year it's a new team for Westbrook. Every year in the first half, he's no good anymore. And in the second half, he's an MVP still. He'll figure it out. Michael Wilbon is with us. He's sticking around. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Our team that plays around Steph, everybody plays very similar to the way Steph plays in their continuity offense, and 11 new players for the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James, year 19. I mean, for him to be 37 years old, turning 37 in December, to have the points he did last night, I might have to recalibrate my MVP conversation because I think he will be in that conversation. But look, Carmelo Anthony at times, a defensive liability on the floor for them down the stretch in the fourth. It's going to take time for this team to find out what their identity is defensively and offensively. And Russell Westbrook, look, we talked about this yesterday, always starts off slow. He's a ball-dominant guard. Now he has to share that responsibility with LeBron. That's going to take time for this team to find.
Yeah, everything's going to be a mess in the first half of the season. Wait till the second half. Here is LeBron James at the post-game presser on Westbrook's struggles.
I just think it was just the first game jitters, to be honest. I don't put too much into it. Probably was a lot just going through his mind, just being a kid from L.A. and, watching the Lakers growing up, and then however many years down the road, now you're putting on a Laker uniform and you're stepping into Staples Center, and you probably had, I can only imagine how many friends and family have contacted him over the last 48 hours wondering if they could come and see his first game as a Laker. Those things, those demands and those asks and those things will quiet down as the season go on and on. So not worried about Russ at all.
I love it. I love the way LBJ protects his teammate. There's no question about it. But I don't think it's first game jitters being at home. He's at home all the time. He sees those people all the time. I just think that he just had a bad game. Much like you say, Jay, as the NBA expert on this particular show, is that he starts slow. And when he starts slow, he then in the second half picks up and becomes an MVP-type candidate the second half of the season. When you look at Russell Westbrook's career, this is what now, Jay? His third team in less than 12 months? A little more than 12?
Yeah, more than 12
months. So when you look at Houston, Washington, now the Lakers, that's 3 different teams in a little bit over 12 months. He's got to get used to playing with those guys. No matter what you say, training camp is not going to get you there. The course of the season is.
It's going to happen with this team, man. Look, age, I think they're going to be fine. Like, no need for knee-jerk reactions today. You know how it is. What's wrong with the Lakers? What's wrong with Russell Westbrook? It was the first game. Obviously, there's some stats that are glaring, right? Like, they're minus 23 in his 35 minutes. They're plus 16 in his 13 minutes while he's on the bench. But those are going to be tweaks that LeBron James and Frank Vogel are going to have to make.
But isn't that because AD and LeBron has played together? What is this, the third year now playing together? AD and LeBron. Westbrook ain't
11 new players.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
It's like, come on, man.
Every year,
We got 81 more, man.
This is the fourth consecutive season that Russell Westbrook is playing on a new team with new teammates. It's the same thing every year. Like, you got to blame yourself after a while if you fall for this. It's not going to be pretty in the first half of this season. He will get it figured out. He always does. There's someone who doesn't have to worry about first game jitters because he won't be available to play. That's next after Key has this from Granger.